Interest rates. 11 times in 6 months, we raised the rates. Never in the history of America have we done this. We haven't lowered the rates for over a year. We haven't raised them. We haven't touched the rates for over a year. And the last time we lowered the rates was 4.5 years ago, March of 2020. Rob, if you have Jerome Powell making this announcement, he comes out. Everybody's expecting 1/4 point. It's not going to be anything. It's only going to be 1/4 point. We're even talking about it. You said 50-50.
I said
right?
50-50 for 1/2 point.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, he says, nope, we're going to 1/2 point. Tom, I have a chart I want to show after you're done, but I want to hear your reaction when you saw this.
Well, so I was 50-50. So was I super surprised? No. But was I somewhat surprised? Sure, because I was 50-50. And what everyone had been looking at, all the Fed watchers, and I get away from all the chaff, and I try to signal to noise ratio. I try to get the signal and cut out the noise of a lot of the chatter. And what was in the signal was that there's a lot of these labor statistics and unemployment. The Fed's going to go faster on rate cuts if it's worried about unemployment or a stagnating economy, like slowing down. So recession, unemployment, whoops, got to drop the rates. Well, recession, everybody's been thinking it's recession or thinking we're in a structural recession right now, but it's light. And the labor numbers keep getting revised. So everybody, including the Fed, had been saying, some of these labor statistics, it's troubling to see them revised. And we've even covered it here. Remember, what was it, Pat? 1 month ago, they were missing 100,000 jobs. They came back a week later. Oh, yeah, we're sorry. It really was 100,000 different. Sorry. Meanwhile, the White House took credit for creating all these jobs, and they revised it a week later. So with all that jobs data and the potential recession, that was the 50% of me that said, you know what, he may go to 1/2 point there to protect the economy.
I get that, Tom. But so the average person right now, maybe let me read this thing and I'll tee you off with this one here. Okay. So the stock market dipped after a historic Fed rate cut. Okay. Here's what experts think. Okay, Rob, I'm going to send you this chart here. If you can do me a favor, I already sent it to you. If you can pull that up, that'd be great. So here's Fortune and what they think why this is taking place. So Federal Reserve cut the rates by 1/2 point and calling it a move to demonstrate officials' confidence that the labor market can stay strong with appropriate recalibration. Despite the Dow dropped 1/4 basis point, S&P fell 0.29% and NASDAQ fell 0.31%. And Robert Frick, corporate economist at Navy Federal Credit Union, noted that 1/2 point cut is an admission the Fed is behind the curve. BlackRock's Rick Ryder explained that the market reaction, saying the market has priced in a rate path that looks more like what an impending recession would require rather than the Fed's less aggressive recalibration. The Fed's outlook of 2 more 1/4 basis point cuts this year. That's a full-on 100 basis points by 2025. Disappointed investors. Powell insisted that the U.S. economy is in good shape, but his comment that we're not going back to net near zero rate caused unease. Watch this. Go back to that article I sent you, Rob. And by the way, before I even show this, I want to ask you a question, Tom. Don't go down before I... So every time we've cut rates the first time, Tom, and Vinny and Adam, I just kind of want you to think about this.
Yes, sir.
Historically, when there's been these climbs of rate increases, okay, and then there's the first rate cut, how much does the stock market drop after the first rate cut? I think you saw it.
No, I didn't see anything.
No. But historically, the market usually reacts down because the market is usually talking about what it needs and the economy is showing what it needs. And when the Fed finally responds, usually the Fed's, so there's 2 theories, Fed chase and Fed ahead. Fed usually chases because Fed looks at history. The stock market, the Fed reacts to history, so the Fed is chasing its tail. Whereas the stock market is always speculating, it's always ahead.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. So pull it up, Rob. Go all the way down.
It's sort of baked into the market already.
Correct. So the market already...
So zoom in on that one. That's the first one. The federal fund rate has increased 10 times in 14 months. I think it's 11 times in 16 months. So if you look at that, that's the cycle that we've been going, right?
Biggest since Jimmy Carter, 72.
It's just like, bam, we went up. Okay, go lower, Rob, to show how the market tanks. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You'll see the chart. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's the one right there. Zoom out a little bit so we can see it. Okay, so stock market valuation and performance after Fed's first rate cut. Okay, you got 74, 80, 81, 84, 89, 95, 2001, 07. So the first rate cut happens. And then if you go a little lower, Rob, it shows the average of how much the decline is, 20.5%.
Wow.
That's the average. 74.
Just on the first day, you mean?
No, not
What?
after the first day. It's 94 days or 20 days or 437 days. But after the first rate cut, the market tanks 27.6%. In 1980, it dropped 2%. 1981 dropped 22.6%. 84 dropped 1%. 89 dropped 8%. 95 dropped half. 2001 dropped 42%. Okay. After the first rate cut, which is what, a year and 9 months. The first one is a 3 months. The third one is a year and 2 months. And then the 55.5%, that's how many years? That's a year and a half. And a 24.2 that we went through just 4 years ago was, in how long? In roughly 7 months, right? Give or take, that it dropped 24.2. So if on average, if we go based on this, there's going to be a 20.5 market correction within 3 months to 18 months based on history. Based on history. That's what this is telling us. The question then becomes the following, okay? The question becomes, how different is this than others? Okay, so then there's a story here from NPR here. 4 ways Federal Reserve big rate cut could change the housing market. So the average person is going to ask, how does this affect the housing market? Number one, mortgage rates may not drop much further. A lot of people are thinking it's going to drop. It says no. Although mortgage rates have decreased to 6.2, their lowest since February 2023, further drops will likely be marginal as the rate cut may already be priced in. Charlie Daughtry, Wells Fargo's economist, predicts that rates remain around 6.2 by the end of the year and could fall to 5.5 by 2025, still above pandemic levels, okay, pre-pandemic levels. Number two, lower rates could drive higher home prices, which we know that. Lower mortgage rates might attract more buyers, increase competition, and a limited housing supply. And Kim from Denver Real Estate Agent, he's a Denver Real Estate Agent, points out that the first-time buyers are especially impacted and many regret not buying earlier. That's what they're saying. That sounds like a realtor, though. You have to keep in mind. Number three, drop in rates may spur more housing supply. Okay, makes sense. And number four, affordability remains a major challenge. Even with the lower mortgage rates, affordability issue persists as home prices have surged by 50% since 2020, far outpacing income growth, which is what the federal guy was talking about. So what is different, Tom, about this rate drop that we have, half a basis point, versus what we've had in the previous 10 we looked at?
Well, the last 3 that we've had, so 2019, it was COVID. We had dramatic economic impact. Go down to 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
The housing market crashed, dramatic economic impact. We have not had a dramatic economic impact. Have we had an oil shortage? No. An oil embargo and oil goes to 140? No. Have we had the recession of 2001? Remember, that was talking 644 days. So that was almost 2 years. 2000 to 2002 was the recession that was in. There hasn't been a dramatic economic impact this time. Like COVID caused havoc, and 2008, the housing market caused havoc. And what's interesting is, Rob, do you have the Wall Street Journal big rate cut forces Fed? Just there's a little chart there. Not that one, the other one. The other one. Bingo. So they are saying that there's another half point coming this year, a quarter point in the first week of November, and another quarter point. I think they meet again on December 18th, I believe. So November 2nd, December 18th, the Fed meets again, takes a quarter, so it's a point down. When the Fed also signaled that, it actually made this worse. Because that tells, not only are you taking a half, you're telling us quarter. So you're going bang, bang, bang. And so the market is reacting, so the Fed is believing the recession story. So everybody's looking for the economic impact. Where is it? Are we going to admit that we're having a recession right now? Go take a look, Rob, on the housing market, the other chart, and go down to the first, right there. Check this out. So when they say refis are up 35%, you have to remember the number of houses available to refi. Look how low it is compared to the 20 million houses available to refi in 2021. Why? Because there's been no transactions. So when they say, they won't say numbers. The real estate industry won't say numbers, Pat. They're only saying refis are up 35%.
By the way,
but 35% over last year is still up over nothing.
Check this out, Tom. Go to April of 2022, the low mark, right? April to right there. Tom, from April of 2022, go till a month ago, Rob. Go till a month ago. Okay, keep going till right there. Okay, from April of 2022 to August of 2024, that's 28 months. How many realtors and loan officers didn't make it during
So
that
many.
28-month period?
So many.
Give me a number. What percentage you think are out?
You know what? The NAR, National Association of Realtors, would have that, but I haven't looked that up. But I would imagine you have to have dramatic shift in the part-time, because realtors are 1099s and they get a license and then they just disappear. You know what I mean? There's not a layoff. So that's the interesting thing, that whenever you're looking to see layoffs, if Wells Fargo lays off mortgage administrators, like a mortgage officer, loan officer, you can see the layoffs, Pat. You can't really see what happens
This article says
because they're 1099s and they just kind of go to a side hustle or disappear, because you don't lay off realtors. They just stop producing.
And did you guys, so you know that there was an article.
47% of realtors didn't do a single deal last year.
There you go. So that's like a
47% didn't sell one house last year.
So, Vinny, that would be like
Half
a
of
47%
realtors didn't
layoff.
sell one house last year.
And go to the other chart that right before that one.
I believe that because it comes down to the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. 20% are doing
the one you
80% of the
were just
business, and
on.
80%
But you're
are
talking
doing 20%.
one. Now, go back to that, Rob. 47% of the rate show that. 47%.
Wow.
Half real estate agents around this report survey, 2,000 random agents, companies, California, Florida, Pennsylvania, Orlando. Wow. Go a little lower to see what are the numbers it says about houses. 70% of agents sold 5 or more. So, I want to know what percentage of realtors and loan officers left the industry.
The median number of sales was 2. How do you live on 2 sales
That
a
is
year?
insane.
You don't. You do it part-time, or you're pretending to be a realtor when you're not really one.
That's right.
I've seen all this in Miami. It's
Doing OnlyFans.
you got the fakers and you got the doers.
Okay, now,
Yeah, you've seen that whole OnlyFans
now take a look
transaction
here,
of
Pat.
a realtor.
The rates are now down to 6. But take a look the last time it was 6 in 22.
Yeah.
To get activity, we really got to get back down into the 5s. Because we've been above 6.
We're getting there, no?
Well, yeah. Rob, do you have the today's mortgage? So the guy from Wells Fargo is right, but he's not right. Go to the Google National, because take a look at what's happened already. He was saying 6.2, Pat. Take a look at this.
Nothing.
Right. But the 20-year is 5.9 and a 30-year fixed VA and the 30-year fixed 6.2. And this is 760. So we're not doing anything crazy here. You know what I mean? This is just regular citizens with a similar to the loan that Rob got when he bought his house a little over a year ago, right?
About 2 years, but yes.
So Rob's right back to where you were 2 years ago, right?
Thanks for bringing Rob's personal financial situation into the mix, Rob.
I know
How you
I got a
feeling, buddy?
6.5% interest rate. That's what I got, but I also bought July of 2023 when in Florida the housing market was at the peak and interest rates were at almost their highest.
Hey, Rob, congratulations on buying at the peak of the market. I'm
So
really
you're
happy
still
about that, buddy.
next year 5.5 probably justifies it, to do it. Yeah.
This report suggests, I'm looking at this report saying that since the new commission structure is changing with real estate agents and loan officers, it suggests that the agent count in the U.S. could theoretically decline approximately 300,000 to 600,000 people, okay, which is roughly 60 to 80% of current NAR membership of 1.6 million could leave the industry.
There you go.
Okay, during this tour. All these guys, and the way, and by the way, this is one of the ways I saw it with real estate and loans when 2 years ago, and this is a very weird way of looking at it. Our CEO tickets at the Vol Conference, you know who comes to that event? We spend a lot of money. At this last Vol Conference,
Leaders, people building jobs.
we showed people how much money we invested into the Vol 2024. Do you remember the dollar amount?
Ridiculous.
What was the dollar amount?
Started with
8.4
an eight.
million. 8.4 million we put into the Vol Conference, right? So we don't have a pitch fest. People that come in, they come in, right? And, the event packed, covered. Rob, do you have the picture of what the event looked like all the way in the back? Because, everybody always shows their events. And the next thing you know, I don't know if you have the video of the one all the way in the back. And there's a reason why I'm going with this that has to do with realtors. Very important for realtors to hear this. I don't know if you have it, Rob. I'll airdrop it to you.
Okay.
Okay. If you can just be careful. Put your phone aside when I airdrop it. I don't want it to blow up. Just set it aside. So anyways, 2 years ago, and I'm not even kidding with you. 2 years ago, Rob, Tom put his iPad away. 2 years ago, a quarter of the attendees were in real estate and loans.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding.
2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Because the market was doing great.
Of the companies we were consulting for, loan officers, realtors, they're making $200,000, $400,000 a month.
Escrow
They're
agents,
making
the
$3,
whole
$4, $5 million a year. They're making real. They got exotics, Rolls Royce, Ferrari, all this stuff, right? This year, I asked to stand up and raise your hands. Wasn't the case. The event we spoke to the other day, Clever, the real estate event that we went to, those are realtors. So this is the Vol Conference. This is at the Palm Beach Convention Center. We can't do it again next year, this place, because we just don't have the place for it. Go ahead, Rob. We grew 116%.
Like, are you kidding me?
Look at this.
Sure. That was me right there. I was in the back.
Like, look at this.
But look how
People
the
showed
back
up.
of the room is packed.
But
to the end of the wall.
But the part with real estate and loans, 80% may be filtered out. The people that stick around and are great at relationship building and saving money, you will not be affected.
Yes.
Okay, that's the part. If you can stick around, the market's not going to stop selling, $1 million homes, $5 million homes, $10 million homes, $20 million homes, $500,000. It's not going away. But a chunk of them, that 28% of people, the 28 months of not making money and selling homes and refis, that filtered out a lot of people. Adam.
I've seen it because you know who got their real estate license in 2006? This guy right here. Why did I get my real estate license in 2006? Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing with my life at that point. I was doing the
06?
nightlife. Yeah.
Yeah, fourth quarter 05, California was like the largest number of people applied.
Did you really get in 06?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it at the peak of the market.
Yeah.
Horrible decision,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, talking shit about Rob. Look at you.
Yeah, but there's a difference between buying a house for $500,000 and getting a real estate license for $500. Big
Whatever,
difference.
dude.
No, dude. But the reason I was doing that is because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And this is a story about basically what a lot of people do is they're like, I don't know what to do. The bar is so low to get your real estate license. You take a class, you go to Gold Coast or whatever it is, you study, you maybe pass it, you maybe fail it, boom, you're in your second try, you're getting a realtor license.
Tree stumps
Hey,
have
go
real
out
estate
there and try to
licenses.
carve your path into the world. You start doing rentals, you start basically getting where you fit in. But here's something about realtors that a lot of people need to know. I don't know if there's a profession out there where you need to look the part and fake it till you make it more than being a realtor. You have to drive a nice car. You're driving clients around. How are you as a new realtor going to compete with the big dog out there that's listing $20 million properties while you're trying to do a rental for a $2,500 property? You got to drive a nice car. You got to have a nice watch. It's literally smoke and mirrors in this business. But the people that deal with the ups, the downs, the left and rights, the people that I've been seeing realtors since 05, 06 in that world for the last 20 years, the same people, the guys and the girls that stick it out, that basically save their money, reinvest in the business, and are not just using all their proceeds to look cool rather than actually be wealthy, they stick it out.
Guy sends me a Minek today, okay? I'll read the Minek to you and I'll respond. I rarely send 5-minute answers, but I send this guy a 5-minute answer. I won't say the guy's name. He says, my buddy has a dealership in whatever state, and he used to sell 125 cars a month.
Wow.
The car market is entering a rough time right now, okay? And he's had some issues with the company, et cetera, et cetera. Ask him this question. And I said, there was a time in 2021 where everybody was paying 10, 20, 30% above MSRP when you were buying a car. Like maybe not 30%. But exotics were selling like you wouldn't believe. You're buying a $200,000 car. If it's brand new, you would pay $100,000 more to buy the car. So $300,000 for a $200,000 car. If you were buying even used cars, we're saying $20,000 more than what the car was worth because of the chips. So all these guys that went, and what I said to him, I says, what feedback do you have for my friend? I said, was your friend saving money?
Yeah.
This week, what happened? Yesterday, where we're at, right? Why was that able to happen? Because of saving money. If you don't have money, you can't buy that because it's a cash deal.
Yep.
Everything right now, to all the people that made fun of people that are saving money, if you don't like, I said to this guy, I said, Tom remembers what I was making. You know what I was paying myself at? The first 2-3 years of starting an insurance company, I didn't pay myself anything. Jen and I lived in an apartment at the Summit in Woodland Hills. Literally. Regular apartment at the Summit in Woodland Hills, right?
Truth.
Yeah. And then by the third year, I'm paying myself $80,000, $100,000 a year. That's nothing. My expenses, I'm barely making it, right? And then we start going and going and going. I start paying myself a little bit. I've never been the highest paid guy in the company, but we always had cash. So we need to invest into bamboo. We had cash. We need to go raise money. We didn't give that much equity because we had cash. Every time we had cash to reinvest, the mistake in every business, but it's so common in the real estate side, is they don't value cash. It's all go, and not realizing every 5 to 10 years, shit happens to the real estate industry for 2 years. So if you do it right, you can really end up building something like Keller Williams did, but it's only if you're thinking long term. By the way, for some of you guys that are in the business, real estate, all this other stuff, there's some really good guys on Monect, like really, really good guys that are real estate specialists that have done very well. Insurance, or you can go back to that Monect right there, Rob. You guys that are private equity business guys, you can obviously Monect any one of us. I'll respond back and answer questions for you. I only answer in audio, so does everybody else here. Adam does some text and audio, and Adam does a lot of calls. If you want to talk to Adam and Tom, they do a lot of calls. But this is a time to get the right advice from the right people. If right now you just kind of stay by yourself, this is a very scary time to just be by yourself, not investing into yourself.
Can I give you just a little bit of credit?
Yeah.
You have no idea how much respect I have for you, sort of the methodology that you do, because you have every right to be the baller out there. You've obviously made your hundreds of millions. We all know this, but we all know that 150 million ain't what it used to be.
Here we go, Michael Chandler.
Here we go.
We know that, but you've said things to all of us, such as, treat the company's money like it's your own. Oh, okay, cool. Like just because this guy's got hundreds of millions, I
shut the lights off in the bathroom.
You better, buddy, or else you'll be sweeping the bathroom floors from now on.
There's a reason for that.
But there's also things like, cash is king. Save that money. You never know what's around the corner. When the tide goes out, we're going to see who's actually being smart with their money. So it starts from the top, and whether it's an organization, whether it's the head of the household, if you sort of set the tone, this is how we handle money here, guys. We're not going to just be lavishly spending when we can be saving, because when the time is right, we're going to have this opportunity to buy something very unique for the company that Pat will announce soon. But at the end of the day, you have the pretenders and you have the professionals in everything. You have the people that want to look rich, and you actually have the people that are actually want to be wealthy or are wealthy. And there's a significant difference. The bottom line is this for me: you have sprinters and you have marathon runners. The people who are playing the long game and are the marathon runners like Pat, they know you said time and proof. Test of time, 5, 10, 20, 50 years, you're going to figure out who actually was good with their money or good with their morals and their values. The sprinters, they're going to look good for a year, for 2, for 3. But at the end of the day, when the market shuts down or they basically run out of money or the economy tanks, boom, the marathon runners are actually going to show who actually saved that money.
Tom, going back to the story really fast, I know you want to move on, Pat. With Jerome Powell, Tom, what is it? This rate cut had something to do with unemployment?
So the Fed uses rate cuts. If inflation is high, what you do is you raise the value of the US dollar by raising interest rates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When unemployment starts getting too high, you lower rates so that businesses can get loans for sensible purchases, building a new factory, building a building, adding equipment. You see what I mean?
Gotcha.
Sensible. And and they're supposed to delicately turn the dial, kind of like, have you ever been in a hotel where if you turn that shower just 1 inch, it's way too hot, and you turn it another half inch, it's way too cold? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the way that a sensible Fed is controlling interest rates in our economy. Just think of it that way.
Gotcha.
Can I help Vinny real quick? Because I think you're getting mental shrinkage when you turn the cold water down. Here, let me explain.
Did you have a follow-up?
Let me explain this to you so you fully understand. I'm going to say it in 2 sentences. Yeah. The Fed, Jerome Powell, he's got one main job: control the economy. He has 2 basically things that he does to control the economy. Number one, he has to deal with employment and unemployment. Mm-hmm. He has to manage that. Yeah. And the other thing is managing inflation. What's going on with all this? So he's controlling inflation.
You said 2 sentences.
That's it. He's controlling inflation
Go for it.
and dealing with employment.
Gotcha. So the point I was going to make, Pat, is he just came out yesterday, I think, right, Robbie? And he blamed the migrant crisis for this growing unemployment. He said, if you're having millions of people come into the labor force, then you're creating 100,000 jobs. You're going to see unemployment go up. And he was saying, so it really depends on what the trend underlying the volatility of people coming into the country. So this whole, every time I hear Kamala and them brag about, Pat, how amazing the economy is doing, they're full of crap because it's been steadily going up since spring of last year. And after starting the year at 3.7, it stood at 4.2 in August. The U.S. has slowed down in adding jobs in recent months with a disappointing 142,000 in August that fell short by 20,000 jobs. So every time I hear Kamala Harris saying, Pat, she keeps coming up and she keeps going.
You just made the best point. Moving forward,
you did a great point.
You're the guy. For the last 9 months, we built this news site, hired 15 machine learning guys. If you haven't yet subscribed, there's 3 tiers: freemium, $4.99, $19.99. $19.99 gives you the whole thing. Lopsided timelines. You can find out AI questions, unlimited questions. It costs us a lot of money the more questions you ask, but this is not just like any question you want to ask. You can go on there and type in, like, here, go to the first one right there. What does it say? What are the top 5 events today? Let's type that and go to it, Rob. Let's see what it comes up. It answers the questions for you with our AI. It's got the lopsided stories. Here we go. So based on the recent news articles, here, United States ranks amongst the lowest developed nations overall healthcare performance despite spending the most on healthcare. Nevada Secretary of State Cisco Aguilar is focused on election integrity and workers' protection, including passing a bill. This is just right now, like what people are thinking about right now, the last hour. Over 20 women have been accused of the late billionaire Mohammed Al-Fayed of sexual assault, including 5 claims of rape, as revealed in a BBC documentary. Anduril Industries has partnered with Microsoft to enhance the U.S. Army's integral visual augmentation system, integrating its lattice software to improve. Cool. Various organizations are working to protect voting rights and enhance civic engagements as 2024 engagements are coming around the corner. There's so many different elements to VTnews.ai. This is going to be the aggregator many will be using moving forward. I want to encourage you, go to VTnews.ai, Rob, put the link below in the chat section, comment section. Go test it out for yourself.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.